Alrighty.
All right.
Stream time. Let's check into chat. We need to know what is up in the club.
On a Sunday afternoon in LA, but other places probably like the middle of the night.
And
I'm just gonna,
yeah, we're gonna there's some
cleanse
lighting.
the room a little bit.
There will be like some lighting of sage, lighting.
And this is Palo Santo, right?
I don't know what that is.
It's not
I have a
sage.
lot of those, but I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I guess the wood can differ depending where it's coming from. Clearing the room.
Let's see what kind of
Just gonna do a little of this magic.
HD situation we get here. Maybe we do want to zoom in a little bit.
All right.
We might want to zoom in a little bit. Zoom in. Boom in.
Clearing
so
the
to speak.
Nintendo.
Oh, we love. Let's see. We love that Nintendo. Okay. We're zooming in and out.
Cool. Cool.
Cool beans. Let's see what our chat. Oh.
You're so bright, and I feel like
Change
with your pink hair.
the stream title. That makes a lot of sense. We need to change the stream title. Let me do that. Not a problem. How's Chad doing? So we got Nora Moray here. As I haven't slept in days, so I'm a little grumpy, but we'll get to it.
Oh, that explains the energy levels.
We'll get to it. I haven't. I also didn't want to like go crazy with the coffee today. I didn't want to go crazy with the
Stimulants.
with the stimulation, even though we have them readily available. That doesn't mean that we should. Oh, cool. Here we go.
And you have the coolest coffee machine.
Oh, I do. Yeah, we need another stream. I need a mobile camera so we can.
You gotta show off your coffee making
skills. Yeah, we need to figure out how to. We have this giant gimbal. We need obviously we have a Raven Eye, which is a wireless HDMI situation.
Okay.
So we can.
That's something I would start with. I would love to like get a shot of you making your coffee.
Yeah, maybe but this might be more like a YouTube short. I feel like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be a good short.
Chat, pop out chat. I do want to change the stream.
Because that is a whole
title.
New ball game that a lot of people are not exposed to.
Pinball, I like pinball. Let me see. We'll get into it in a second. Why can't I change the stream title? That's interesting. I might have to.
What's the title now?
The title now is Cash Giveaway and Drinking Windex.
Oh, we didn't do any of those.
That was our last stream. We drank a bunch of Windex and we did a cash.
No way.
Yeah.
Why would you drink Windex?
Because we had a big nice DJ stream going on over there.
Windex, the chemical?
Yeah, the chemical.
You drank it?
We drank it. Yeah, for sure.
Did you get high?
We did also. No, we didn't get high from Windex.
Then what's the purpose? What was the purpose of that?
Just to amp up our viewership and get them excited. Get them excited. How's the sound, guys? Let's see. I'm really. The problem on this iPad is that we really, for some reason, have.
I would not drink Windex.
You wouldn't?
Okay, I don't care.
Let me see.
For no streaming.
Yeah, no, we drank the Windex, and that's how the hair turned pink.
Okay, and that's why you're a nutcase?
Not a nutcase. I wish I was.
Just with the pink hair and the irritation.
And the what irritation?
Lack of sleep.
Oh yeah, and that's true. Yeah, that's true. Are we distorting? Give me a little something here on the distortion. I might have to grab. We might have to grab. It's weird. So basically, Kick is a new platform that gives us these amazing numbers in viewership because it's brand new. But at the same time, it's also very buggy. So let me grab my laptop real quick.
Okay.
Tell chat a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Just keep them on their
chat.
toes.
As you know, my name is Nora Moray, and Yeah, originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Moved out to Los Angeles, like back in 2015, school in acting. And honestly, I had a lot of fear around music. I had a lot of just blocks that I had to kind of work through in order to kind of pursue this path. And it's been quite a journey, I will say.
And then to get out of the shithole again, like LA.
The journey of like coming into LA and getting back into music after like having so many walls around it is what per se.
Yeah.
I think that was like the mission, to be in this place in this city that was really like nurturing my growth and helping me open up, but still in a way, but not also losing myself and not like sacrificing my soul and like my truth to be accepted by whatever society deems acceptable.
I mean, I agree. Like, you're from Nashville. I spent a lot of time in Nashville. Fond memories of Nashville.
Tell us about the memories. I want to hear about that experience.
Nashville is like, let me just put this thing away. This is blocking the view. No, Nashville is, and the beauty of these like wireless microphones is that I can get off camera. And
should I look at the camera or look at you while I'm talking? Because
well, look. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Done a podcast
you can look
like this before.
Either way, we had a little bit of some technical difficulty that caused us to lose our second camera angle. But when it comes to stream, the second camera angle isn't even that important, to be honest. But we're gonna cut these. Like, basically what we're doing, we're gonna have this division here later for the YouTube Shorts division between me and Nora, and then we're gonna have the answer in this. But let's get back to Nashville. No, Nashville is beautiful. Nashville is, first of all, you move to Nashville. I moved to Nashville from the East Coast, and you go into this town, and it's bizarre. Like the level of musicianship that the average person there has, the average random person just living there, like people on the porch playing harmonica, being very proficient and playing guitar, like random citizens, like not even people. I'm like, hey, are you proficient? No, I've just been living in Nashville for the last 25 years. I've been born and raised here. I'm like, sure, that makes sense. So I get now why this thing is called Music City. You know,
intimidating Music City.
No, I do be getting it, and like, but I was like, I want to say I was a proficient musician coming in there myself, so it wasn't like. It was just like making friends and finding people immediately on this same level, and that was like such a rewarding community there. Now, obviously, like saying proficient musician and wanting to be a professional musician in that city, obviously means that you need to make money eventually, right? So, and in Nashville, that meant for me that I was being an audio engineer in recording studios. I was playing sessions and being a studio musician. And that was the way in. Like, being an artist in Nashville is just as difficult as in any other city, because obviously it's driven by country music industry, which I love. I love country radio, and I love for what it is. And people hating on Nashville because of that is completely irrelevant, because that is sort of like you saying, "Oh, I'm going into the jungle, and I'm mad that there's a lot of snakes and stuff like that." That's part of nature. The country music industry is part of Nashville. So if you're not making a product that is tailored toward the country music industry, don't be surprised that you're not getting a record deal or something. So that is a little bit what happened to me. But then I realized, oh yeah, sure. You know, it's like I'm a German guy in Nashville running around with pink hair, writing like cool songs. Like, I was making cool music, I was making records there and stuff, but it wasn't like tailored towards like country music industry. So that's why I kind of kept being in this like studio environment. But as part of, as far as Nashville goes, beautiful city, the community is great. East Nashville, I love it. Like, shout out to Dino's, shout out to Mickey's. Mickey's, we love our dive bars there. So I'm fully in love with Nashville now. Having like moved to California, just looking at California without talking about the music industry, obviously, like, sure, we got the taxes, we got some all sorts of madness, but the fact that you can be in 25 minutes at the beach in the morning and surf, that you can't do in Nashville. You know, you can go to Lake Radnor and take a little walk there, sure, but you know, you can't surf there and live that sort of lifestyle, which is really amazing. Like, sure, you know, like, you can just on a Sunday, if the surf's there, you can just, that's just me personally, but I love that lifestyle.
Well, I want to say something about that too. Like, the nature aspect is something that is very much missed when you're not in this city, because when I'm in Nashville, I'm just like longing for the beach. And as soon as I come back here, I'm like, all right, got to go to the beach. And you also appreciate it more when you don't have full access to it. Because like when I used to live here, I don't feel like I appreciated it that much. Like, I enjoyed it.
No, because you have to like live your...
Yeah. So...
You have to live that normal life.
So it is an adjustment and a realization of like, oh, we don't really have like something like the ocean to go into. We have the lake, but it's nothing in comparison.
We have the lake and we have the water skiing out there.
Yeah, but so now you've lived in LA for how many years? You moved from Nashville, and you've been here
in LA now for over 6 years now. Yeah. Over 6 years. Wow.
Time flies.
Time flies. Mm. But yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of stuff. We've produced a lot of records. We've done a lot of stuff, and now with the podcast here and my stuff, it's coming back into sort of my artist self. And less the service provider self that I inevitably had to be. So yeah, that's fun, and this is kind of what we're doing. We're writing later. We also wrote a song not too long ago that turned into a banger. I haven't sent you the demo yet, not to shock you, but we'll listen to that in a second. But we kind of like have it dialed in.
I'm excited.
We have it dialed in. It's loud and proud, and it's a slapper. I mean, that's the beauty of like being able to like being your own producer. So we're gonna do like an acoustic version maybe, and then we're gonna do like the loud banger version, you know. And it's like you can do those extremes if you're not bound by
relying on somebody else.
Yeah, and any sort of regulations, you know. Like the music industry out here can sometimes feel very regulatory. It's like weird. It's almost like you were. When you're making a record with like in the standard old fart music industry sense, it's kind of like passing a bill in Congress, right? It's like it's you could have the most creative, cool thing, but then there's all these parameters that stop you from passing the bill, so to speak, that ends up making the music very boring, but often for good reasons. So the consumer, like, you know, if you're at the deli counter at Whole Foods, you know, it makes sense to you. You know, it's like, and it fits in that genre that they're playing there, and there's reasons for that. I get it, but I'm kind of like now have grown tired of that, and I'm ready to be rebellious again.
You want to like break the rules in music, and you want to just go.
We're already breaking rules with this podcast.
Go with what feels.
By just having a
minor shift.
A minor shift in camera angles. We're breaking this rule here.
Well, I mean, first of all, who put those rules down?
Wait, your microphone is your mic still on? Check.
Yeah, I feel like my mic.
Let's test. We're still doing lots of different.
We're still dialing things in.
Oh, why haven't slept? Oh, because we were busy. We were busy. Check. Just talk a little bit.
Checking 1 2.
Oh yeah,
mic.
yeah. I think we should be fine.
2.
Chat. How's the microphone situation here?
Yeah, let us know how you sound.
We're 13 minutes into the podcast. We haven't eaten those cookies yet.
All in due time. We sage the room.
Okay. We're saying who is interviewing whom. Let her speak. Sure. I do have a habit of talking over people. For sure. You literally don't even know anything about taxes or Congress. Well, I know enough to make that metaphor, and I think that metaphor is a great metaphor, and I stand by that metaphor.
Okay.
So chat, stop trolling, because it is like that. If you have an A&R, a label, a producer, an artist, and like friends of the artist, a manager, like that's, and you're trying to make something that makes everyone happy, that is sort of like passing the bill in Congress. So get off my
So this is what I want to say, since I wanna ask you questions and I wanna get to know about your path, and then vice versa, I feel like we can go question to question, and therefore we're both sharing.
Yeah, let's raise the blood sugar here.
Okay.
You have the honor.
I made homemade chocolate chip cookies, and I love baking, and I love sharing it with friends. So I brought Malte some, and he's gonna try them for the very first time. They should
let's
still
jump
be
into
warm.
the question. Yeah, well, jumping into the questions.
There's no weed in these, nothing. It's just sugar, which is the most dangerous drug out there.
How do we, chat? If you could just enlighten us, how is the audio quality?
Okay.
That's just one question I would like to hear.
They're layered, so.
Audio is good. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. So
I'd have to rip it because I like layered them.
Let's rip it.
Because there's 4.
Good, but good. BYT noisy. Why is it noisy? That could be easily fixed. I wonder why it would be noisy.
It's gonna be oily. Just FYI.
Mm-hmm.
You'll need a napkin.
Oh, because the compressor? Maybe I'll turn on the compressor. Let me turn on the compressor here.
I'm actually gonna try one. I haven't tried these yet, and so getting a feel of it.
Check 1. Yeah, but now it's really quiet, I feel like. That is probably just really quiet now. That's why I think eventually we'll have to resort back to, how's it now? Way too quiet. Okay, great.
Can they hear vocals and just not room?
I don't know. Way too quiet. That is what it is. No, it's good. We like it now. Perfect.
Okay, how is it?
It's good. Those are great.
It's made with oat flour. So.
Yeah.
It's gluten free. Not that that matters, but.
Oh, it does matter.
In case you are.
No, I love those. Well done. So what's the recipe for these?
So butter, but what I do is brown the butter.
Mm-hmm.
So if you brown the butter, it kind of gives it a little bit more of, just like it changes the taste of the cookie a little bit. I like to do that. Brown butter, sugar, and light brown sugar, egg, flour, oat flour.
This is my top 2 favorite cookies because the thing is it's so light.
I got you. Yeah, there's 2 more. So you can eat all 3.
We can have each one. Each one.
The rest are for you. I just want to.
Really?
Yeah. Go at it.
I have one more. Also, if you guys are looking for a great book, get Fictional Archaeology from Daniel Charm.
Have you looked at that book?
I have. It has lots of great pictures in it. Lots of great pictures.
Are you into like history and architect?
Yeah, my uncle was an architect, and he always tried to push his opinions on me.
That's how it goes.
About buildings and stuff.
I will. Yeah.
Cookie rating 10 out of 10.
I would give it like a 7.
No, I give it a 9.5. This cookie is like, I don't know, like, I mean just 9.5 because I don't know what could be a better cookie ever. But the beauty of this cookie is, let me tell you guys, is first of all, it's not too sweet. So that's great. It's not too sweet, and it's so light. Normally, if you eat a cookie, right, you feel like you so fat afterwards, right? Because it's like such a heavy, like the big cookies you get at like the bakeries and the coffee shops,
which are so good, but it's like a meal.
Yeah. So that's
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, but
It's an extension of my love.
you guys look.
I bake with love.
This
so.
is what's in here. Like just cool shit. Like so much cool shit. Like look at this fucking. Look at this. A bunch of like old boom boxes, completely rusted up and stuff.
Okay, I want to get into your journey.
Oh yeah, get into my journey.
Yeah. I think more so I want to be fixated on music.
Yeah, it's fixated on music.
And here.
Because that's the issue we're having right now. We kind of just got tired of the music, so we got to get back into the love for the music.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, okay, so you've been in LA for 6 years now. You lived in Nashville. You first moved to Nashville from Germany.
No, from I went to college in Boston.
Okay.
Berklee College of Music. Which was an interesting experience. We can get into that for another day. But I dropped out of Berklee. I ended up finishing later and came back for a semester and finished. But I was like, there was some issues. I ended up just being in the studios and got into like some issues with the administration and stuff. And then I just kind of moved to Nashville and hoping to work for this producer there. So I just dropped out. But the issue was I'm from Germany, so I needed to maintain my visa status. So he like gave me like this 1 credit internship thing, so that's how I was able to be in Nashville.
On an internship.
On an internship.
And that was when you dropped out of school? You're like, okay, I'm going to go take this internship, be in Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the guy, yeah, it ended up, so it was an internship, but the first day we showed up, I had another friend that drove down with me, who was a musician, very talented guy, but also very intense kind of guy. And we drove to the internship, and then he knocked on the door first day. The producer, Eric, opened, and I was standing there, and then James was standing there, and James was like, "Hi, we want to tell you about our church." And it obviously like started the whole thing on the wrong foot, which ended up not being that bad because I now wasn't every day at this internship, but I was like making ways into the town myself, starting to play live, starting to get in the studios as like a freelance engineer, and like started to play with like studio musicians, and then they ended up playing on my records and stuff like that. So yeah, that was Nashville, but that was all like not EDM. That was like non-programmed music. That was just like, you know, all live in the room. Everything was recorded.
So what genre of music were you making then?
It was sort of like just like Americana, a little bit of country, indie folk. You guys can go on my SoundCloud and check out some of those old records. They were like recorded them at Ocean Way, Blackbird, like with like, you know, it's a completely live takes, and like, you know, like tuned the drum kit for like 4 hours in the morning. Then, you know, like the standard, like basically like just how standard tracking in Nashville was, like really, you know, full setup, fully in the room. You do the overdubs, you know, you punch in. Sometimes we even record it to tape, on like old Studers and stuff. Like it was pretty intense, and it was just like this like sort of really old school way of like cutting, and then you would like, you know, take your Pro Tools session, like no Ableton whatsoever, just like take your Pro Tools and then overdub and stuff.
Okay, before we go further into that whole aspect of recording in Nashville, I want to hear more about your story. So like in your upbringing, and like what inspired you to even pursue music? Like what was that spark that was like, hey, I want to do this? What was it? Like where did it start?
Well, as early as I can go, I remember always kind of as a little kid, maybe it was when I was three or four, my mom always like said, oh, you always had like a very emotional reaction to like music and like music on television, like kid shows and whatever. Like they were just like had a very emotional reaction to that stuff. And then I remember at some point, just at the dinner table, I remember that vividly actually. I might have been like 6 years old or something. Like my mom or something just had this like idea of like, oh, you need to learn, like a kid needs to learn instrument, kind of like, oh, a kid needs to learn swimming or something. It was like kind of like a prerequisite to like be, you know.
Standard hobbies
yeah,
you
yeah.
put your kid in.
And then she was like, but in my family, like the only person that was really making music that we knew of was like my grandfather, and he was like playing flute in an orchestra. So it was like, and so then I was like, like piano, but then I was like, oh, why not piano or something? And then my mom was like, oh no, but then yeah, my mom is like loves her interior design and stuff, and just the idea of having like an object in there that wasn't really fitting into
There's
this
no
whole.
space for a piano in the room.
Yeah, my mom is like
So
a
it throw
very
off
like
the
she was
design.
like very like German, and like design and everything was like sleek and
Yeah.
minimalist. And as kids we're like yeah, it was always like careful, careful. So like she was
Wait,
like oh
so
she
what
was
about your toys? Did you have toys
yeah,
that were
but
allowed
only
in the house?
in our room. But then yeah, again she wasn't too crazy about if we like were like we had these like I remember we used to have these like Jedi like swords or whatever, and she was like only outside in the yard, so then we were like out there. Yeah, so then I was like, okay, guitar, because guitar, you could just set it up and then we can put it away again. It was good. So cool guitar, but then I ended up having this like very old fart sort of guitar teacher that was like, we're doing these like, it wasn't even classical, but just very, we're just working through this book, like a book of like, hi, how do you, like, this is, we were playing these like very, like just learn some chord shapes or whatever, and then at the same time I remember my grandfather got me like this flute, and I went over to his house once, and he tried to explain it to me, but he really was like a really bad teacher. Like he was a phenomenal flute player, but he was just like riffing on the flute in front of me, and like I was like, yeah.
Okay, so did you get a guitar?
Yeah, I had the guitar, but then I could have also made a foray into the flute playing, but I remember like he tried a couple times when he to teach me, and he was like very frustrated, because
Distraction because text messages.
yeah, someone wants me to bring them ice cream, but there's no ice cream, so yeah. So yeah,
We have cookies.
yeah, we have cookies, but the cookies won't be there for long if we disclose that. Um, Yeah, no, so yeah, sure. Then he was like the flute. He didn't want me to. He was just like a great flute player, but he was kind of like he couldn't really like for a kid. I was like 6 years old. It was like whatever.
So not a great teacher for you to
yeah.
like
So I stuck to the guitar.
open up to that.
But the teacher was super boring, so I really didn't want to practice that much. And then like let's fast forward a couple of years. Then he dropped out. Then there was another teacher that was like this Armenian guy, super strict, and that was the last straw. So then I didn't have a teacher for a couple weeks, but then we found this guy, thankfully, a neighbor that was like this amazing teacher, and within like the first, he was like, what do you want to learn? And I was like, I think I remember like Deep Purple, like Smoke on the Water or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. So it was on my nylon guitar there playing like, Smoke on the Water, like by like Deep Purple, like learning that riff and stuff. And then he was like, oh, we got to get you like an electric guitar. So
How old were you at this time?
I want to say like 11 or 12 or something.
Okay.
And then we picked out this electric guitar for Christmas, and it was like this amp that I got, and I had electric guitar, and I remember like being all night just like, and I wanted to have this distorted Deep Purple thing there going on, and it was like this Marshall amp, but it wasn't a tube distortion, it was like a diode distortion. It was like all weird. But eventually I found this like push-pull potty, like this pot, this like switch. And then it was like distortion. It was like dun 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 da da, and that really sort of like then I was kind of hooked, and I was like cool, And then I remember like learning like Red Hot Chili Peppers, like Snow, like riffs like that, Jimi Hendrix, and learning all those riffs, and being like really excited about it, and not really putting the guitar down again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when you started guitar, your whole guitar journey. And then from that point, when did you start writing songs? Like what opened that door for you?
Started writing songs when I was like 14, 15. I ended up getting this like Ibanez like 6-string guitar that had like like steel strings.
Yeah.
And I wrote like some songs in German, and I have some recordings that are atrocious, and I try to like cover like Wonderwall and those kind of songs, but like my English was also
Classic.
my English was like not that great at the time, so like I had like
But you had English classes in school.
Yeah, we had English class in school, and so yeah, that's when I started writing songs. And I actually applied to Berkeley with a song that I've written with an original. And I remember at the audition, the guy was like, I remember it wasn't Dave Fuginski, it was one of the jazz, the ultra hardcore jazz guys there. I can find whatever. It was like one of these. Later on, I went to Berkeley and oh wow, it's that guy. It's like the crazy jazz guy. And I sat in front. He looked at the lead chart. We had to bring charts and lead sheets. He looked at it. It's like, so what? You're only gonna play chords? And I was like so confused. Like yeah, it's like a song. It's like a song I wrote, right? But at that time, they had a songwriting major, but the people that were doing, the auditions were all these jazz guys. So it's like it was like, so I almost like didn't get in because like, they were like, what are you doing, bro? Like you're not playing jazz.
Oh, so you had to do more than chords for the audition? Like
I didn't. It was like you had to play scales, you had to do this, and they expected me probably because I applied as a guitar principal, not as a vocalist. It was like yeah, it was
But you still got in off that audition?
I got oh yeah, this is how it was. I got accepted for like a semester to try out, and then that semester I really busted like kicked ass and just got straight A's. And then there was like one professor that I went to the administration. It was like, yo, if you don't let this guy in, this is like completely ridiculous. There's all these other students slacking off, and he's trying so hard. So that's how I got in.
Oh heck yes!
Yeah, so I was doing.
Shout out to the instructor.
Shout out to Gail MacArthur. That was her. Gail MacArthur.
Give credit to those who help
She was
us.
Irish, and she was like this great, amazing saxophone teacher and stuff. And yeah, where can I buy those shoes? Those are Uggs. You can buy them anyway, Amazon, I guess. Why aren't those records on Spotify? Or the Nashville records? Because they're not finished. Because we kind of just like, there's so many of them, and in the end, we lacked funding to mix and master them. I'm gonna like finish them eventually. They're all tracked, but see, I didn't have funding to like or get a record deal. So like at some point, I just ran out of sort of like favors to ask because we got all these favors to get in these studios and stuff, and then it was time to mix them, and I just. I think like one guy like quoted me like this crazy like ridiculous mix rate, so that's why I ended up getting like becoming then a mix engineer myself over the years. And I could go back to them. It's just like we make like now kind of more electronic modern records, but eventually we're gonna either remix them or also put them out. Oh here. Either remix them or also put them out. Oh, we do have a significant amount of.
Oh cool! Can I hear myself? Oh cool! Can I? Yep.
I mean, it's not. We have a little bit of background noise. That's fine.
So is that the delay going on?
But yeah, that's just the stream delay. But I wonder why we have that sort of signal to noise ratio. That's what I'm wondering. Because it should be a lot louder, but.
Have you used these microphones before?
Yeah, we use them over the stream, and normally they're fine. I've never used them without. Normally when I DJ, we haven't used them with like music in the background. I think they have two modes. I think they have a high gain mode.
So you probably need to use the low gain.
No, the high gain.
So because it's on low right now?
I think it's on low, and I was just jacking it over there.
What is it picking up?
You won't see there. You only see on the other one. That's an interesting question. Yeah. But how did you get started? So you grew up in
Nashville.
In Nashville, Tennessee.
So I was thinking, just because I feel like there's so much to go in depth with our stories, I'm gonna focus on you today, and I feel like we'll do another podcast, and then you can ask me questions.
Sure, we can do that.
Do you like that? Because I feel like we want to know your story. I want to know your story. How often do you get to talk about your journey?
Well, my journey, not a lot. Normally, I interview the people.
Okay, so I want to interview you since I've kind of already decided that in my head. I'm like, let's just go deep with Malte today, and we can plan our next podcast where I can talk about my story. So
yeah,
I love a story. I love hearing people's journey.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the songwriting, etc. You went into Berkeley. You tried it out for a few years. Were your parents supportive of the music journey?
Yeah, I mean, my parents were, because I think they couldn't see me do anything else. They were kind of like wondering obviously, where all of this would lead. I mean, they're still highly skeptical. They support me. I mean, my parents love me, no doubt. But they were obviously highly skeptical of um, just the fact how
Pursuing this route,
yeah.
the artist route is always like
I mean,
skeptical for parents.
for them, um, see, this is always like that's such an interesting, not conundrum, but I have to have a lot of people. A lot of people think, like, if you're a producer, you say you're a producer or an engineer or whatever, they think, oh yeah, that's a great, like, that makes a lot of sense. That's a great career. Like, you can make a living with that, and you can, do all that stuff. And then when you're an artist, like, they're like, oh yeah, that's kind of weird. But the thing is, like, in the end, without artists or somebody pushing the record, there is no producer. So I never understood why, like, to me, a lot of times, like, producers are just, a lot of times, like, every good producer, you can see that they always wanted to be an artist, so they had a little bit of that capability, and then they were like, oh, maybe it's not working out, so let me just support the artist in
The
doing
safe
that,
route
right?
would be the producer.
Not safe route. I mean, there's producers that were like full on just wanted to make records, but they don't have the full capability of being an artist or that desire, which I admire. If you don't have that, I wish I was a producer that just wanted to make records without having the desire to make my own records. That would make my life a lot easier because I'm like a great producer and I can just do that. And I'm also a great artist, but the problem is like lacking the marketing side, right? So that's like such an issue for so many people, and why we don't hear records from so many artists, because you don't get plugged. And this is not an excuse. Like, a lot of artists are like, oh, like the record label didn't like pick me up and this and that. Sure, but the thing is, nowadays, like, you can just make it happen. So you got to ask yourself, like, what's the excuse you're having? And there is really no excuse. Like, you just have to do it. Like, make a podcast, figure out how to market yourself, make content, right? And that is not making music. That sucks because we all love making music, right? Would I rather be writing a song right now than doing this podcast? Probably. I love doing the podcast. Don't get me wrong. I love podcasting, right? But if I had to choose, like, I would just write songs 24/7.
Yeah.
But if you only write songs and don't produce them, marketing, whatever,
Yeah.
like, no, like,
you got to be the business. You got to be the whole
you have
business.
to do it. And it's like, for me, it's so tough because you have a lot of songs done, but they don't see the light of day because you don't take the time to market them, or you're not excited, or you're excited about the next one, right? I'm very like, I make a song and I'm already excited about the next one, right? So you either have a team in place that says, hey, slow down, or we're going to do this for you, right? If you think in a traditional sense, an artist signs a record deal, has that whole machine behind them. When the record is being pushed out, the artist can already be in the studio
recording the next.
But if you're your own one-man show, you have to now do all of that yourself. So that makes it a little tricky. And which is not an excuse by any means. It's just like, it's saying, like, if you're a young artist out there, it's a challenge. Just focus on those areas. And that's why also right now, the problem in the music industry is, like, it's not a lot like quality anymore. It's just popularity. So people that have figured out influencing the popularity with, like, let's say, medium to like good to medium high product, or like songs, they dominate, right? And they get great streams because they figured out this marketing thing, and they figured out how to make records fast and quick. And that's not no blame on them, and I'm not trying to, like, put them down, but that's just what's currently happening, right? And I think a lot of times the people that are very artistic and very introverted in a sense, they don't get the chance by being picked up by a record label. Like an Amy Winehouse right now wouldn't figure it out because I don't think she was brilliant, she was so artistic, but I don't think she would have had the minutia to figure out how to like navigate these waters. But back in the day, they had like labels that would take like meetings and would just say, oh cool, we're gonna put some money behind this artist. So it's just a little bit of a different landscape. And I'm not worried about it. It's like sometimes you just like have like other skills that you need to like nourish first, and then you move on from that, and then you have then you move on to the next one, right? So kind of like building blocks, you know. Um, and if you don't have somebody that's going to build that business side for you or something, then you have to do it yourself, and that takes a lot of time. Because think about these corporations. Normally, when you would have gotten like signed to a record, they've been there for a long time, and they have it dialed in. You know, it's a machine to have it dialed in. So if you're trying to mimic that yourself at home, promotion, production, how do they interact, release schedules, all of that, that's a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
While if you had access to the knowledge of that label, they would be telling you, oh, this is how it has worked in the past, this has worked for us. So it's a steep learning curve, but if you figure that out, then you have great chances at being an independent artist and making a great living, you know, because there is a lot of money to be made, but you just need to figure out how to access that, and you need to figure out how to be on social media even if you don't want to be. I'm not someone that loves to be on social media, but it's a necessary evil, and you just have to be out there, and you have to like reframe it and say, hey, this is like a way to interact with my fans, you know. And I think there are ways where it can be sort of like a reciprocal relationship.
And it's a platform to share yourself and your art, and therefore, the more you share, the more likely you'll connect with people who, you know, are into your music or will gravitate towards you. So, but if you're not doing anything, if you're not stimulating that, then it's not going to branch out. It's kind of like you have to spin that, turn the wheel so it can like extend outward. But yeah, as a creative, I've constantly like had a back and forth with social media as well, where it's like, but I don't want to be on my phone. But I feel like there's so many benefits out of like putting yourself out there and sharing your art. And then I think changing the belief and the wording around that, so you can be like, actually, I do want to share this because I want to connect with my fans, like you said. So, but you're such a creative individual, and you have so many skills and so much to share, where it's like, wait, don't you want to show that off? Like, for me, I see like you don't share that much on social media, but I'm like, but you have so much talent, and you have so much to share. But it makes sense. It's like having to like go past that wall, that block that's telling
or
you,
not
like,
block, but just the sheer like, there's only so many hours in a day, and it's like the sheer just figuring out how do I divide this, and then having like help doing that. I might have the opportunity very soon to have like help that can help me produce and like assist in that way, and that can be very beneficial, because then I could like spend more time like making an image film, making you know, sort of like making, because the thing is for me, sometimes making these 15-second clips on Instagram of like half a finished song, half like showing off that's cool, but it's sort of like,
what's the purpose?
It's almost like wasting time, but it is necessary, right? But at the same time, it is also like a dangerous thing, because you see a lot of people just sharing like a verse chorus, right? So they practice only the verse chorus, and like, hey, you haven't practiced the full song. Like, why don't you put the full song up? So it needs to be connected, right? But I think like generally that's just how this content works. So like I'm just trying to figure out a way how to, like, same with this podcast now, you make something as actually complete, a finished thing, and then you take little bits of it, right?
I was gonna say that, because like people are not gonna sit and watch the whole song. Like on social media, they're not gonna sit there for 2-3 minutes. But if you do cut it down, and you would say share it in a few different segments,
and then have them go on Spotify or something, you know?
Yeah, so you're giving the teaser on there, and then be like, if you want to watch the whole video, But what if it's not a really song? You're just sharing something, a song that you are working on.
That can be good and bad. I mean, there's like, I think that is another thing that it's like, I used to like just share anything that I was like working on. But I think sometimes that like stifles a little bit the magic, because you want to really, like, right, you have a new idea, you have a new song, and you're really excited about that one chorus, right?
Right.
And then you want to share that one chorus. A lot of times I've found that it personally, for me, it actually prevents me then after from wanting to finish the whole thing, right? Because it's like, oh, I already shared like that magical bit, and then I'm kind of like, so I believe like more finishing things like
before sharing it.
Yeah, because otherwise it's sort of like, I mean, it depends. Or you share it, and then after the fact, you kind of realize, oh, this was not worth like finishing or something. But Because that's another big thing. It's like I think it's important to have a lot of ideas floating around. I don't think like as long as you put out enough stuff, you don't need to finish every idea you're working on. You know.
But sometimes they also encourage constant sharing of content. What do you think about that? When someone's like, you should be constantly sharing content, but it's like realistically, you are not gonna like. Sometimes you'll start a song and you're like, I like this, and you'll share it, and then be like, actually, I don't really like this song, and so it's just like, it's just content to share. What do you think about that situation where you're like, you've already shared a song, you liked it then, you don't like it anymore? Should you take it down? Should you just leave it? Should you move on?
See, that's the thing, and that's why I think it's important to like. I think it's fine to share covers and that sort of stuff quickly. When it comes to original music, I think you need to go through the process, and it needs to stand the test of time in the sense that in your vault, it just needs to be like, okay, cool, I want to share this whole song, you know, this original, and because otherwise, I don't know. I mean,
Otherwise, it gets boring. Would you say to like? I mean, would you recommend? Would you want to hear an artist like just sharing covers and then once in a while sharing an original?
I mean, I think if it's a fresh cover, and it's like if somebody is like making, you know, there's covers that I love from other artists where it's like they're essential and they're actually expanding the range of the original. Like think about like Ryan Adams, like the Wonderwall cover, or think about like you know, like Bob Dylan, All Along the Watchtower. You know, it's like a Jimi Hendrix cover,
Right, right.
or the Jimi Hendrix. Now I might get it wrong. Don't quote me on that. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, All Along the Watchtower, I think actually Bob Dylan was first and then Hendrix covered it. But the Hendrix cover is like so monumental. Now we should actually look that up. I want to get that right. It's one or the other. I'm pretty sure the Dylan thing was before and then Hendrix covered it. I'm pretty sure that's how it was. Pretty sure. But you know, it's like such a monumental cover. It had to be there. It was important for the trajectory of that song, and it was enriching it. So in that sense, if you feel the need to make a cover, you really, as an artist, you really need to ask yourself, am I just making this because I need a quick bit of content, or is this really important for me and it adds to the song? I think that's the conversation you need to have in your head. And I also think that when it comes to sharing original music, it's important that you hold yourself to a certain like quality standard when you release original music, you know? And so it just needs to like, you need to have the bar within yourself, right? And that needs to be the bar. Like a lot of people, they don't, I feel like they either have a bar or the bar is too low. But the bar also can't be too high, you know? For me, for a long time, I think the bar was too high. And actually, the stuff I was making was really good, and I wasn't putting it out because I set the bar too high, you know? And then there were only, like, so many songs that were above the bar. So I think that's actually a really important question, you know? Like, you got to figure out that bar. And I think when you're starting out, the bar can be a lot lower. And then as you progress, the bar should be higher to, like, exceed that. And I think a lot of artists are actually they're not doing that. There are a couple, I don't want to call anyone out, but you know what I mean? Like there's a couple of artists, when you talk about a sellout or something, or somebody's making a record that was kind of just like rushed or didn't really feel like, I think for a lot of artists the bar gets lower over time. 'Cause they have a lot of success initially, and then, you know, they have a hit and stuff, and then they have continued success, and then they feel like, oh, now we can just feed our fans like anything. Or I think a lot of times also like then they have other priorities. A lot of people like then they get married, they have children, have a family, and then they only want to be in the studio like a certain amount of time. You know,
Well,
like,
they don't have the time and energy for it
Yeah.
when there's more things taking
Yeah.
their attention. In the beginning, when they're on this artist path or pursuing that music, it's just like they're more fixated on the music and they're more fixated on getting things out there. And of course, that makes sense. Like, how much energy do you have to distribute, you know, around?
Yeah.
So, what is your priority in life?
I think there's a couple. Was a little bit disappointed. Like I think Coldplay for me is like I was so excited. I think all throughout like X and Y it was like really solid. And then there were a couple records that were kind of like,
Isn't everyone in Europe excited about Coldplay?
yeah, I'm
That's
always excited about
that's
Coldplay.
a
but-
standard like European love. Like everyone
Yeah.
from Europe is like Coldplay.
Coldplay.
But it's like, whoa, that's a thing. That's a big thing. They really made their mark on Europe. So,
Yeah.
A great band. Like, gosh, the energy they bring and whatnot. But so let's see, in your perfect world, what would make you happy? Like, what's your vision as an artist, producer, etc.? What would you want to do in this path that you'd be like, I'm content now. I'm here. I love it. I love being an artist who performs or tours, or being a producer who gets to work with this or that.
Yeah.
Like, what is it for you that you would like?
For me, I have like it's basically just like three things. I want to do my like the pop thing with sort of the DJ ventures, and like my own records, like the stuff that we're doing, we're collabing, or maybe we'll find another DJ that will want to like give this to a collab, but make these like very um, big EDM records, but with like great songs behind it. Under the hood, like this is like a nice, great lyric, and it's a well written song. And I think that's what EDM is lacking right now. I think there's a lot of people that make great sounding records, like the sound design is amazing, but then the lyrics, like you know what I mean? Like I want to have lyrics that really move, that go deep, that have more layers, and they're very like great lyrics, like the
Like
lyric.
NF.
Huh?
Like NF and his insanely amazing lyrics. Do you know the artist NF?
No. So we'll get into that later.
Ah,
I'll check out
he's so
NF.
good.
I'll check out NF. That I want to do, and then I also want to do my little I'm gonna have a little project where I make actual country records, but then get country singers to sing those records, but kind of like under an alias, I have this alias, Nicholas Gardner, and we're gonna have like Malte'S presents Nicholas Gardner, and then it's gonna be like these sort of country and folk records.
That'll bring the Nashville out of you.
Yeah. Then because I know how to produce these records, but I realized that my vocal is not always fitting on that, so I need to find like vocals that can do that and then bring those songs in. Those are two things that I want to do. Obviously I want to tour with these projects, and then the third one is just keep making records for other artists that I need to be like really excited about. I kind of like this whole like hired gun thing when you are just I work with a lot of like there's a lot of artists sometimes that are looking for a sound that has already been out there, or they're looking to fall into a lane that has already been paved, like if somebody's coming and say, hey, I want to make another record that sounds like Olivia Rodrigo, I want to be eventually in the position in a couple years to say, that's great, I'm so happy for you that you want to sound like
But not something you want
Olivia
to do.
Rodrigo. Why don't I set you up with our team here, and I will pop in here and there and make sure it sounds amazing.
Well, what do you want to do with the artist? Do you want to just not go in any lane, or just like capture
Yeah, I would
their
like
original?
to when I really spend time in the studio producing, and like I realized over the last couple of years, like time is so limited. You
Yeah.
only have so much time left on this planet. You can't, if you're in the position where you have to make money and just do that, that's totally valid. But I would like to eventually not be in that position anymore, where I have to take clients just for the money, and where I'm not like 100% invested in the artistic vision, because they just expect me to kind of just do they can't like go to another producer, or that another producer doesn't have availability, and then they just like want me to do some kind of knockoff record,
And you're not. It'll show in the work. Do you feel if you're not passionate about
Yeah.
the project, or you don't? You're just like
no,
not.
but that's
agreeing?
just like ghost production. Like I don't want to do like any more like where my name isn't on it. Like I've done that. We've done ghost production before, where we get like just like a flat fee to produce, and then some other producer
Yeah.
or artist is like putting their name on it,
Oh wow.
which is fine. And
How does that make you feel though when it's like a hit and you're just like, I produced that?
Well, it can be. It's like yeah. That's something that I'm like exploring, and I want to like eventually not do anymore. I think that can get a little bit taxing over time, and I think that has been eating at me a little bit.
So what are the perks of ghost production? Like, what's the benefits of doing that over having your name on the project? Like,
well, a lot of the people that they're paying the fee, they are not willing to have the name, because you're kind of just more like a work for hire. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
which is totally fine because you're providing a service, and a lot of times it's just ad prod. A lot of times it's just like additional production.
Mhm.
Um, and I have friends that are doing that too, and it's eating away at them, but they obviously need it because they need to make a living, and that's the only reason. Like the only reason why you do that is because you need the money. You know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Same
Um,
goes to ghostwriters
yeah,
and
I mean,
etc. So.
and also because maybe you don't have the outlet where like
Mhm.
obviously like if your own stuff was taking off in a way that was superseding that, then you wouldn't have to do it, you know. So yeah, I think that's the only reasons. But yeah, those are kind of the three things I want to do: the pop records, the country ish, like just songwriting. I want to be able to just do like stripped acoustic stuff. Um, and I think
Mhm.
it's interesting too in a DJ set to just do that, to just strip it down and then just go full acoustic for like a song or two max. But it's like so refreshing.
Of course, because I feel like you can connect more with the soul of the artist, like the emotions and the.
Yeah.
I feel like stripping it down allows you to really like get a sense of how that artist actually sounds. It's not layered with so much. And that's something I've kind of noticed with Olivia. Let's like reference her music. I was listening to some of her tracks and I'm like, she's just singing and there's guitar behind it. And it's so simple, yet the emotion is so strong behind it that it pulls you in. You don't need all the fancy stuff. So why do we add, why do we layer? Why do we add so much on there? Why can't we just get to the core that actually hits you?
Sure, sure. I mean, that's true, but at the same time, there's also EDM records that can hit you on that emotional level and at the same time make you dance.
Of course.
Like on Olivia Rodrigo, it's more like, um, I mean, sure you can dance to it, but you can't really like dance to it like you could do to like,
Well, yeah, different music serves
yeah,
different purposes. Like, of course, in EDM, it's like it's gonna move you, like your body physically. Something like Olivia with her emotional vocal takes, it's gonna move you internally. So I
yeah.
guess it just depends on what are you seeking, like, and what mood are you in, and what do you want that music to do for you. I feel like there's a lot of power in music, and what you choose is going to affect you, whether you know it or not. Like, I feel like,
It's true. I mean, I think that the perfect thing should be the perfect marriage, right? You can have. That's what I've been trying to do, and that's what I've, because I come from that singer songwriter world, but I also like love, EDM records. I've been trying to figure out how you could have both. You know how you could have like a singer songwriter song hit, the way, it does in its like acoustic version, but then you kind of just add things, and that's a challenge. And I'm not 100% there yet. I'm trying to figure it out. But once I figure it out, I think it's going to be, um, I'm going to be really happy once I figure it out because I think that's going to open like a lot of doors. Because that isn't out there yet. You don't have like Avicii tried to do it a little bit, but I think like the songs were lacking in like lyrical content. There was sometimes these like ESL songs, like English as a
hey,
second
brother.
language. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like the melodies are great and stuff, but and yeah, sure, Hey Brother is actually it works. Hey Brother lyrically works. There's some of them that are a little bit like kind of confusing. Like I think Wake Me Up, but sometimes it's like, yeah, sure, it's like a spiritual lift up kind of thing, but the lyric is like here and there are just like they
Mhm.
don't make sense or they don't connect like
Mhm.
grammatically and stuff. But I think that's just like happens when
Yeah.
Swedish people write songs. Like I've pride myself so that I've been trying to like um, be sort of
Meaningful with
a
your words.
native, non-native like speaker, but at the same time try to like at least have the ability to say. That's why I get other writers in to like have that stamp of approval and know this is a great lyric. You know, like that's
Mhm.
why I went to Nashville because I don't want to be someone from Europe that makes records and be like, yeah, I can't like, or Max Martin loves to do it too, where it's like just grammatically or sense wise, you know what I mean? Like let's
Yeah.
read, let's point in case, let's read some of these lyrics here. Avicii, Wake Me Up, because I always felt like when you listen to the song, you know what it wants to say, right? You know technically the emotion that it wants to portray,
Mhm.
but then it just feels a little like they just wrote it in 5 minutes and we're like, whatever, let's go. Like feeling
Mm.
my way through the darkness. Guided by a beating heart, I can tell, I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. Okay, so let's say we're sitting in a writing session right now, and I spit that.
Uh huh.
Who would say yeah, let's lock that in. That's a great lyric. Like, feeling my way through the darkness. I get it. You know, it's like, okay, sure, you're in a dark place, but like, if we're rewriting a song right now, this would be actually like interesting, right? We're sitting in a session right now, and somebody's being, yeah, why don't we start there with feeling my way through the darkness? And I'm like, oh yeah, I love that idea. You know, let's start there. So what's the setting? Where do we want to go? So you're in a dark place. Did you just break up with someone? Is this something? Are you overcoming a difficulty or like a in your life through a depression? Like, are you coming through, like, are you going through hardship? It's not really defined. So like, feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. Which beating heart? My own beating heart? Somebody, my significant other?
So you want more of the story behind these lines.
Yeah,
You want more context.
you don't think that it's kind of like atrocious a little bit? Like, I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. Okay,
It is kind of surface.
They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Well, life will, but it's kind of just like just a bunch of cliches. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. Okay. Well, that's fine, but
okay, but that song came out years ago.
no, but at the time, then we're like great. What we can find other songs that were released the same year that were great.
But this goes to say, like, a lot of music that is what they're looking for in the mainstream isn't going deep, and you're a person of depth, so therefore you're like, give me depth, and these songs are not providing that.
Yes, but at the same time, there's also songs that, like, pop songs that I've written, like, that are completely surface and they have amazing lyrics, like Ava Max and stuff like that, right? Where it's like, it's okay, we're in a club right now, we're partying, and this is like just hedonism at its best, completely superficial, but the lyrics are so checked out, and like, it's funny, it's cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But would you ask, like, why isn't the demand more around lyrics like that? Like, why doesn't the industry demand more lyrics with
Somebody's
depth?
saying, if you think lyrics are simple. Okay, specify that. That's a weird comment. Like, if you think... I don't even know when you said that. Sorry, I wasn't watching chat.
If you think lyrics are simple...
He just said, if you think lyrics are simple, like...
But sometimes... like, also, like, those poetry books or the wisdom books where sometimes it's 2 lines and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, it hits you...
They're good, but not on the $5, like, Chinese, like, thing. Wait, let me actually, like... Go up
the
and
fortune cookie.
No, it doesn't come through. You have to write again the chat. It actually, like, my thing timed out, and it didn't. That was a kick glitch. I'm telling you right now. Just write it again. What you were saying. The last thing I'm seeing is, why aren't those records on Spotify? But yeah, we can talk about that. I actually have some on the fridge. Shall we get one?
A fortune cookie, or
one of these things that are in that. We'll talk about the depth of that. Let's get one.
Grab one. Yeah.
Let's grab one. Okay. So. I have 2, and
so if you have them on the fridge, then they were worth putting on the fridge. Otherwise, why do you have them on the fridge?
Yeah.
I love digging into something. Like, if you give me some kind of line or some kind of, like, this is why I do this, I think both of us kind of, like, want to stand there with a shovel and be like, give us more information. Like, tell us more about this. So, the curiosity there.
Okay, we got
wants
these
to go deeper. All right, let's see these fortune cookies. And maybe they'll change our lives in one way or another.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you hear, someone says a line, you hear something, it shifts the direction of your life. That ripple takes place.
We'll each get one. I'm going to close my eyes, and then we're going to talk about the meaning of...
Can we create our own meaning around what we read?
Well, yeah, but we can also talk about... Well, let's get to it, I have a whole thing planned for this. Okay, let's pick one.
You already planned something.
I'm going to...
All right.
Okay. Cool. Cool, guys. Yeah. Okay, so maybe this is like... What is this, like the fate or something? I got one that is actually I could roast for days right now. So mine says right here. Mine says.
Still blurry.
Oh, there it is. Can you read this? Yeah. Whatever. Mine says, you will touch the hearts of many. I'm like, oh, wow, that's such a deep... Look at this. You will touch the hearts of many. Like, that is so deep, right? You will
You
touch...
put it on your fridge.
No, I put all of them on there. Because I always, like, I don't know, I just... Whenever I do them, I'm like, put it on there. Because why not? Because I like just putting as much as I can on my fridge.
Well, something like that could just shift your trajectory for that day.
Yeah.
Like, you could be in, like, a low mood, like, you know what, I feel worthless, or I don't feel like what I'm making has any meaning or purpose. And then you can get a message like that, and that can drive you to, like, step back into what you're creating. So it just depends, like, when you're receiving messages like that. Mine says, you are only starting on your path to success. So I guess this podcast is the start of the path to
I want
success.
yours now. This one is good. This one's better. I got you will touch the hearts of many. Maybe we'll keep them. Maybe it's all meant
Two
to
of my
be
favorite
to be
numbers
great.
are on here, so it's bound to be true. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like I've always been drawn to podcasts, and I've wanted to do one, but I'm not creating my own, and so I was really excited that you had one.
Maybe we have like a hybrid thing, and maybe the problem with this podcast is that we're engaging with the camera, and we shouldn't.
You should engage with me.
No, but I'm saying like if we're like, you know, because I'm thinking like that's actually I've been thinking lately is like.
Should we be closer to the camera?
No, not the camera. But we can't talk about putting something in the camera. But we can. I've seen these other podcasts that do it all the time.
What are you saying?
So if you're like, if it's a podcast and we're talking about like a physical object that you have to see in like on the video, then it's not just audio only anymore. So we're kind of robbing the audio only people of the, but they can figure it out. How long are we? Also have to like adhere to the length a little bit.
Oh yeah, let's check our timing.
We gotta cut it.
Cause I'm curious about this song. I want to hear it. Are you gonna?
Which song?
Play it? The song, the demo that you said you.
Oh, the demo. Yeah, we can do that. I don't know if we want to share because then we're sharing it to the world already, so we can't do that on the podcast.
Okay, so we're not gonna do it yet. Maybe another day.
Yeah.
You don't want to share it on the podcast?
No, I don't want to share it on the podcast, but we'll play it.
Should we play a song?
Do
you want to play a song?
We can play a song. I don't know how. Yeah, we can definitely play. I don't know how microphone situation. No, we're definitely fine to play a song. I might have to use the restroom here in a second. But you can gear up to play the first song.
Okay, should I play a song while you go to the restroom?
Sure, I'll be right back. Or you just wait and
okay.
Entertain
chat. I don't see the chat or anything, so I don't know what anyone is saying.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just share a little bit more about I guess my journey in songwriting. Even though I want to do a podcast where I share more. I really feel like sometimes we're dealt a card in where we are placed in this world has a reason behind it. And I'm kind of the person that likes to look into that where I'm like, wait, why was my soul planted in this city? And yeah, just kind of like, why did my life shape out to be the way it was? I always feel like it's kind of interesting to go back and reflect on that and kind of get like a deeper dive so you can understand more so your purpose in life and that path. So that's something I've been thinking about. I want to ask you that same question too.
Yeah.
When you come back. But what do you think about, like, have you ever thought about why was my soul planted in this city? Like, why was I born here? And then do you ever reflect over that whole...
Oh, why are you born in a certain city?
Like, why were you born where you were born with the parents that you were born? Like, do you feel... I don't know if you believe in souls and, like... You know, like the intention of like, does our soul decide where it wants to be born and in what context? Is there something that we're trying to, like, I don't know, learn there, or some kind of, I don't know, lessons that we have to acquire in our upbringing and then go on?
It's possible. I mean, I was for a long time I was like, oh, what if I like? There's definitely certain challenges I wouldn't have had if if I was born in the U.S., like learning English and certain things like that. But then, yeah, maybe I wouldn't have even been in music or creative. So it's like I'm totally happy with where I'm from, and I think it was important in many ways. Um, and now I'm realizing, like, the older I get, it's like, yeah, just deal with the cards that you've been dealt with. Like, sure, my English would have been a lot better. I could have been more eloquent, or like had a bigger vocabulary, or been a better writer, most likely, if I was born in the States, right? Or if my first language was English, and I wanted to reach people with writing, because like if you write in German, you only have like 3 countries and like a very limited amount of people you can reach.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been most likely. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. I can figure things out, and you got to adapt to the things that you've been giving, and you got to adapt to what you want to do, and you just kind of go with it. The same way with like people have like limited abilities. Like I have bad eyesight. Like I would have never been a pilot. Stuff like that. You got to deal with, like, I think the older you get, you got to come to terms with your abilities and your inabilities, and just say that's cool. Like just be cool with it and try to get help in the areas that you can't do it yourself. You know what I mean?
Well, you have to play off your strengths, and like you have to figure out what your strength is, and then start there.
Yeah. I mean,
and then shape it.
Yeah, in your 20s, I think in your 20s or whatever, like you, or whenever you start out, you feel like you work on your weaknesses a lot. Or I worked on a lot of weaknesses. I think I know a lot of other people that worked on their weaknesses.
Neglecting their strength or their
or just
skill.
focusing on the weaknesses to get better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
Neglecting what they actually are good at for a good reason to like improve on those. But then eventually, when it's time to like deliver and when it's time to put it all together and put yourself out there, like play on your strengths and less on your weaknesses, right? So it's sort of like be smart about it, like I could put out like a whole singer-songwriter record right now as my first big push to go through. Would that be smart? No. Because that is probably, there's already, the market is saturated, and right now in 2023 it wouldn't cut through the noise, right? But like, sort of like doing hybrid EDM records, I think that's like really great. And then later in my career, maybe you come back to it, sort of like there's a lot of people that did that. I mean, we can talk about like, yeah, sure, John Mayer. I mean, whatever. Like I used to be a huge John Mayer fan. Now I'm still a big fan. I love him and stuff, but obviously, like, the older you get, you kind of stop idolizing people a little bit. But he did that. He was like, in his way, he did very commercial music, and then he brought out the blues thing, right? He didn't do that out of the get-go. He didn't try to be a blues trio on his first record for good reason, because he knew he wouldn't have that kind of success. So he waited to have that success and then did that, yeah. So.
Well, maybe he never knew that he was going to do blues, and he just kind of did what called to him at first, or what felt right at that time in the industry. Maybe just down the line he figured out that he realized he wanted to do blues. Or maybe he already talked about this, and I don't know, because I haven't heard his story.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, you want to share a song?
Sure. Or you want to go first? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We can.
So I was thinking, since we're not gonna play the song, I was gonna play the original song that inspired the one that we wrote.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And yeah, I was like, maybe I'll just share that.
Yeah, let me tune the guitar.
Are you gonna back me on second guitar?
I can try it a little bit, sure.
Because like all the chords are quite simple.
Yeah, let me turn the song.
Simple guitar chords.
You need a tune, or are you good?
No, I tuned it.
Oh wow, this guitar is actually tuned down a whole step. What key are you in?
I'm just in standard tuning. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. What key did you say this was? You're better at deciphering that than me.
Probably in what? Probably in B, huh?
Perks of studying music.
Yeah. Wow, this thing. This is a whole. I forgot. I have all these weird guitars in my house, and this one is actually tuned down a whole step. So we'll.
And also, did you tell them you're left-handed? I mean, if they can't see that already.
Oh yeah. Now you can see. We're left-handed.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like weird. Like, nobody's doing like left-handed violins or left-handed pianos, but you could. But it would be such an undertaking. I don't know why this is like reserved for guitarists. And honestly, I should have just learned the other way because it's so hard to find instruments and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really cumbersome. It's really cumbersome to find and acquire and collect left-handed instruments that work. And like, I have so many stories. I have like I have a Gretsch from 1952. That from 1952 where they pulled all the let me actually bring it and do a quick segment of it. I'll show you.
Will you hand me my phone over there, actually?
Where is it?
Right there on the keyboard.
Use your phone.
Gracias.
So I have this Gretsch.
The excitement of toys.
So yeah, I have this. This is one that I found at Grunes in Nashville, and I don't think it was Grunes actually that did all this like damage or whatever. But so this is one of maybe like 5 or 6 ever built 1952 Gretsch country clubs, and when I got it, it was like completely stripped down, and they had just taken all the tuners, all the metal, all the pods, the vibrato. To put it on a righty guitar because it's such a rare part. So like kind of lefty guitars sometimes they get just like gutted to like get because the righty guitars sell for like vintage guitars sell for a lot more. So they gutted this guitar, and then Tom Stadler, one of the best guitar techs and builders in Nashville, he actually restored this guitar to perfection. Shout out to Tom. We could also show off the little Strat here.
All I have is this guitar. So I have no toys to show off.
No, we were just talking about like lefty guitars real quick. So it's like, it's so cumbersome. So this one is actually custom built. So Tom Stadler in Nashville, one of the best master luthier that ever has been there. He worked for Gibson. He's built mandolins. He's absolutely phenomenal all around, like masterful builder and guitar tech and player.
That's a beautiful guitar.
Yeah,
too.
it's a great, right? And he even did like the little vintage things and stuff. Like he
you can see the wood.
he relicked the wood. And it's so hard. So this thing like took super long to build, but those are the lengths that you have to go to as a lefty guitarist. I can't walk into a store and just buy a guitar, you know?
Yeah, well, you're bound to find one in Nashville, Guitar City, you know?
No, but no.
Was it still a struggle?
Yes, absolutely. And the ones that you find, I had to buy like, sometimes you get good deals, sometimes you get like, they're outrageously expensive, but those are really hard to find and really hard to come by. It's actually true lefty guitars. It's really, really tough to find those. That's why I'm very grateful to know people like Tom who built me these beautiful guitars. He even like wound the pickups himself. So
heck yes.
Shout out to Tom.
In Nashville. How much time do we have on this podcast so we don't take too much time?
Oh, we have time. We should, maybe we'll just do the 2 songs and then we'll close out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let me just tune this thing up here. Maybe I should grab a different...
Now I feel like, I'm like, should I save that song for a day that we can actually play the demo?
No, why not?
Okay.
Because we're going to release that song anyways.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to hear it. I honestly forgot. I was like, I kind of just forgot about it. So you'll back me on this one?
Yeah, I'll back you.
With some like notes and whatever feels right. 'Cause I'll pick and strum. Do you need to be on K before?
I'm just trying to.
Okay, so the song that was inspired by the one that we collaborated on was one I was working on and brought it in, and of course it changed completely. But this is how it sounds. This is how I wrote it. And these are gonna be all the chords. So I call out your name when I'm feeling lost. I know it's been hard to trust. Yeah, we carry the wounds concealed in the womb. Mirror the past so we can break on through. No matter the century, I'll trace these stars and find my way to you. Forever, ever, we'll stay together. Build a home where we can heal. For the moment feels uncertain, but time will reveal. Ever, ever, I'll carry you with me. Forever, ever, in time I'll set us free. Is it all just some noise? Carried in voice, box up the past, skilled at avoiding the pain that stares in my face. Oh, I'm just so damn sensitive to all these energies surrounding me. Fills my lungs, I can barely breathe, it's still haunting me. I found that I let go when you're close to me. So I call out your name when I'm feeling lost. Forever, ever, we'll stay together. Build a home where we can heal. For the moment feels uncertain, but time will reveal. Ever, ever, I'll carry you with me. Forever, ever, in time will set us free. Oh, 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 no matter the century, I'll trace these stars and find my way to you. Forever and ever and ever and ever. Forever and ever and ever and ever. Now it's completely different.
Beautiful. I was gonna chime in, but then I realized my guitar is an open tuning, and that was just not.
I was wondering, I was like, where's the backing up?
I was not able to figure this out when that and I would have like this would have
Thanks
been.
for listening.
This would have been a little too much. why. Who put? I mean, I guess it must have been me.
Who played the left-handed guitar
Must
in the
have
house?
been, like a long time ago. I haven't used this guitar in a hot second. Let's check, shack and check. Chat here. And yeah, I'll play like a quick verse chorus or two, and then we're gonna finish real quick with
The game.
a little Mario Kart and some rapid fire questions.
Sweet.
It's actually one of the first songs I ever wrote coming to Los Angeles, since we talked about Los Angeles today. Let's see how this could, maybe I should put this thing up here or something. Let's see, this could be good. It's a little out of tune, but we'll make it.
Do you want my oh wait.
No, I can't.
It's right.
It'll work, who cares? To the city in a broke car, 'cause mama said you could be a rock star. Put some new strings on an old guitar, play it every night at the dive bar. But making rent is harder than it seems, working day and night, but nothing's for free. Running up the credit cards, running out of dreams, flirting with the grandpas, driving Bentleys, yeah. Emily, you're killing me. Remember us under the cherry tree, summer nights, the warm breeze, your hand in mine, and now I'm losing sleep. Yeah, Emily, talk to me, 'cause you and I are meant to be. Yeah, don't know why, Emily. No, 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 no. Every day, new room, new lobby. You could say my life's real glossy. Put a little something in my coffee. Called 20 times but you blocked me. I've been chasing dollar bills ever since you left. I don't even got motivation to flex. Gold shovel girls come around for the checks. Ever since the day that you moved out west. Emily, you're killing me. Remember us under the cherry tree, summer nights, the warm breeze, your hand in mine, and now I'm losing sleep. Yeah, Emily, talk to me, 'cause you and I are meant to be. Yeah, don't know why, Emily. No, 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 no. Moved to the city in a broke car, 'cause mama said you could be a rock star. Alrighty, guys. That was a little bit of Emily.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. I haven't played that thing in a while.
Aww.
So yeah, that was the first song I ever wrote. I went to Jumbo's Clown Room in Los Angeles and Hollywood, and I was just kind of like, this is kind of a story. I think I would love to shoot a music video at Jumbo's Clown Room at some point. Yeah, let's close it out. We got our Mario Kart 64 here, and normally my video capture isn't working right now. Normally we have the Mario put onto the stream, and then we have two camera angles, but now you guys can kind of see. Let me zoom in a little bit maybe into the Mario. Let
it be more intimate.
And then we're gonna do, I mean, I guess since you want to do the interviewing today, normally what I do is I do the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
But then you have to ask the rapid. Could be anything, like pancakes or waffles, you know, like blueberries or raspberries, you know.
All right.
You know how it works. So let's close it out and send it.
Oh, zoom in.
Let's zoom in here.
Send it. That's a term in climbing.
Sending it.
To climb without falling, yeah.
Okay, and then we'll zoom out after.
Okay.
Okay, use your microphone.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. Okay.
We are time. Oh, we need sound. Okay, 2. We need 2. Let's do that. Let's do this, and then let's do. Who are you?
I'm gonna be Luigi.
You, Luigi. I'll go with Peach. Peach.
Good old Mario. Brings back childhood. Wait, how do you press on the gas? I forgot all the things.
A.
A?
Yeah, the
A is
blue
gas?
one. Yeah.
And
Oh
okay.
my god. Okay.
Wait. Okay, already lost so much because...
You're fine. You're totally fine.
Dude. I cannot drive. Oh no. Wait, what? Oh my gosh. This is so embarrassing.
I love the music in it too. Huh?
I'm just letting you win.
I'm not winning. I'm trying to get this. Oh, okay.
How do you even?
The thing is, like, I it's really so arbitrary. Like, you would just wait. Like, there's such a crazy like algorithm. Like, sometimes at the end you can still do it. But let's do some rapid fire questions.
Oh, okay. Favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit.
Favorite color? I don't care about your favorite fruit.
Favorite color?
Yes.
Pink.
Favorite boy band?
Favorite boy band? Favorite boy band? Either Wonder. I have to go. Backstreet Boys was the first CD I ever had. Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit. I have to ask questions and drive.
Yeah.
But how do you use your little special? Okay, never mind. What else should I ask you?
What's your favorite boy band?
I mean, it used to be NSYNC.
NSYNC.
When I was a kid.
With Justin Timberlake. How did they get casted? Did they come out through a TV show, or how did they get casted?
I don't know. I feel like you know more of the music.
NSYNC, I know about it. I forgot. I feel like it's like obviously Justin Timberlake. I'm not too hip and sharp on all the boy bands.
I mean, honestly, I think I've been a Justin Bieber girl for.
Yeah, I love Justin Bieber.
I love him.
He's like a one man boy band.
Okay, he's my boy band.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll definitely. He's the guy for sure. His lyric, like, I don't know who's written.
No, Justin is great.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever make it. I want to ask you something more meaningful than rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Like, what's your biggest fear? What are you afraid of? Like, be honest.
Be honest?
Yeah.
I don't want to admit that one. I mean, I can tell on the camera.
Just
it's fine.
tell them.
Sharks. Every time I surf.
Is that why you told me, hey, do you swim out when you go to Malibu?
Yeah, I mean,
And I had that fear in my mind.
You can't. The thing is, you can't sharks. You can't have the fear. If you have the fear, they smell it. But every time I'm out in the lineup, it could be just like we're talking about 10 inches, 10 feet, or 12 feet. I'm like looking down me and I can't. It's murky. I can't see it, and it's possible. Yes, they don't come into the surf normally. They don't come into close to the shore, but it is possible. And dude, you're gonna lose a limb. Like it's so sharp. They're so fast, and you're just in their territory. There's nothing like.
There's danger everywhere, though.
There's danger everywhere. It's an irrational fear because, like, I think car accidents are much more likely to happen and much more.
Yeah.
But
you're more likely to be walking and someone threw something on the top of the building.
Okay.
And you're.
I'll give you some rapid fire questions now. Nashville or LA?
Fuck. Okay, I've just been back in Nashville this year, and I've not even been back there that long, so I'm still getting a feel for it. There's great things in LA and great things in Nashville.
And this is not, no, okay, we're doing rapid fire questions, so you can only really just have one answer. Nashville or LA?
I don't know, fuck.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Steak or chicken?
Steak. Salmon over steak, though.
Concert or club?
Concert.
Mario Kart or Formula One?
Mario Kart.
Okay. Tennis or baseball?
Tennis.
Ah, nice.
How do you use your powers?
Uh,
What do you press?
Lake or beach?
Beach.
Okay. Pancakes or waffles? I gotta do that one.
Waffles.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I pancakes. Oh my god, pancakes.
I mean, lately I've been eating more
I
pancakes.
grew up with pancakes.
Well, so did I, but I like the crispiness
My
of
mom
waffles.
made these like apple pancakes with the cinnamon sugar thing.
That sounds so good.
Unbelievable. I don't know how that ever passes lunch with no like protein, whatever, but it was like amazing.
Now they have protein. They have Kodak
pancakes.
pancakes.
You should make this perfect pancake.
Now I eat a lot more pancakes.
I need to learn how to make them.
Just get the protein box.
And chicken nuggets or McChicken.
Neither.
Really? Thought that would be easy for me. I don't think the McChicken is great. Yeah.
I don't eat McDonald's. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. My fast food picking is slim. Come on, go, go, go. Fuck. Crashed. Crash and burn. What about you? In-N-Out or Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A any time of the day of the week. Chick-fil-A is so much better than In-N-Out. I'm sorry, guys. In-N-Out is
overrated.
Just a little bit better. It's better than McDonald's. Chick-fil-A is chicken. It's a different tier, but like McDonald's is worse than In-N-Out for sure.
And Shake Shack is better than In-N-Out.
Shake Shack is better than In-N-Out. And Shake Shack is...
It's
not even a question. That's not even a question. Shake Shack tastes like a real burger. Shout out to Shake Shack. Shake Shack tastes like a real burger. In-N-Out is good. In-N-Out is yeah, it's good. But if I could choose between Shake Shack and In-N-Out, I don't see a
You don't have to argue that.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
But you an In-N-Out girl?
For a minute I was, and then, I don't know, now if I eat it, I just get like a stomach ache. So it's like, for me, I want better quality ingredients. Over everything.
Better quality ingredients in general.
Yeah, so that's why I can't really do...
Alright, let's see what the clock
says.
Let's zoom out for the closeout.
Cool.
Let's zoom out for our close-out situation. Where's my iPad? Oh, it's up here.
On the couch.
And then, wow, this was a wonderful podcast.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I could ask so many more questions. So can we just say part one on?
Part one.
Yeah.
This
other
is
parts.
Part one. Why don't we could just do another one soon or tomorrow? Alrighty. This is the awkward. Now, this is gonna be my new thing. The awkward handshake. No, I love this.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
that
to
was
meet ya.
That was great. Yeah. Sick.
Cool.
That was a sick one. We'll do another one tomorrow, and we're gonna have a DJ stream later tonight. But this is the cast. This is the pod. Peace and out. I'll see you guys on the flip side.